Good morning and welcome. It is Friday, the 8th of April. I am Flatcap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Okay, coming up today, a straightforward day. We'll do our review of yesterday. We've got a £20 usual stake day and then we'll have a word on the golf. So, before I do the review, I'm just going to do a few house rules because there are probably a few new faces here today. What I'm doing on this channel is I'm looking at value in the market, looking at things that are overlooked in the betting market, putting them together and try and hit some accumulators. So if you want one horse of the day, not the channel for you. If you want one bet of the day, I'm not the channel for you. If you want a pick in each race at Aintree, I'm not the channel for you. What I'm doing here is multiple accumulators. We bet it through a Sky Bet account. I advise through a Sky Bet account, not because I have any affiliations. I want to be clear. Someone did actually message the other day and they deleted it after half an hour, suggesting I've got buddies at Sky Bet. I don't have buddies at Sky Bet, and I'm pretty sure most of you get the reason I'm using a Sky Bet account is because it pays the best extra places, and therefore they're the best place to put these bets on when you're doing accumulators. And sometimes you're relying on a third or fourth horse to get placed. So yeah, it's the best bookmaker. I don't have any affiliations. I'm not sponsored. I'm just doing what I'm doing, and that's it. So so value in the market. So some of the bets do look a bit ridiculous to the naked eye because people, if all you did was judged the horses based on where they are in the betting market, you'd think the bets look ridiculous. Yesterday we had a good day, and when we go through the results and demonstrate those prices aren't necessarily ridiculous. The prices are priced up by the bookmakers. They are informed by the general betting public, who predominantly bet on the top 1, 2, 3 in the betting market. I'm not looking at the top 1, 2, 3 in the betting market most of the time. I'm looking at the rest, and I'm trying to work out where there's an angle where something has been overlooked, and that's what I'm going after. So I'm not picking prices based on the price. Specifically, I research the form, I spend a lot of time doing it, and then I compare my read of the form with the market and find the one that has the most value, which is basically the one where it's high up my list and low down in the betting. That's kind of how it works. It's a lot more complicated than that, but that's kind of how it works. I guess what I would say as well is, for my £20, that's the equivalent. If someone else on another channel giving you one tip, that's their £20 tip. If someone else is giving you one bet, that's their £20 bet. My £20 is spread across multiple accumulators, and that's how I do it. All right, so, probably should also say it's free. There's a lot of other channels out there that aren't free. This is free, completely free, no extra links, no chatter, this or PayPal that, Telegram, whatever. It's just free. It's just me talking every day for about 10 or 11 minutes, giving you what I know, and then whether you want to do anything with it or not, it's entirely up to you. Yeah, there we go. All right, yesterday's bets. This one was poor, really. So, the jumps in Ireland haven't been going so well for me. So, flat in Ireland has been good, and jumps in the UK has been not too bad. But the Irish jump's not so good. But I've got another jumps Irish meeting today. Of course I have. But anyway, Limerick. Corbin wasn't so good. The next two were a bit close, but not too close enough. And then we had a non-runner. I did give you an alternative for that in Gowran Park. And that horse, so close. It was a neck and a short head from being fifth, which would have paid out 40-1. But nothing back on this other than a 40p refund on my bet. Nothing for your bets. But I'm not going to get excited about the fact I've got 40p there. Okay. We then had bet 2, which was a decent one. So Maracuja, I think it just didn't like the jumps. So it jumped pretty slow. It kept going and it kind of stayed on a little bit, but it wasn't close enough. Sky Pirate did run a decent race. SP to 18s, we had 16s on the channel. Mysteria wasn't so great. And then Red Heel, brilliant. Went from the front, 33-1 on the channel. I'm hoping most of you got that decent price because it held most of the day. It did end up SPing at 16s. It's one of them ones where, I've doubled those up and, clearly would have had a better outcome here if I'd on the channel done a single on Red Heel. So I know some of you have done a single on Red Heel, and, sometimes those of you who watch and observe and have been around a game, you can kind of see that I've got a strategy here. I'm trying to help the average punter, but I try and give you the odd little wink and a nudge when there's something else. And I did say I really like that horse yesterday. I'm just frustrated on behalf of anyone who's following the bets exactly on the channel that we could have got a better return had I just done a straight single on Red Heel, which I feel like I maybe should have done. It is what it is. It was a profitable bet, particularly if you've done it through Lucky 15 through an account that gives you the bonus for the one single winner. So good bet for bet 2. And then we had bet 3. So bet 3, Central City was 4th. I think only Sky Bet paid it out. So if you're a Sky Bet account, you'd have got a better return on this one, but you should all have hopefully made some sort of level of profit. Barrettstown was 2nd, 8-1. It depends on when you put it on. So I got 8-1 on the channel, but then I was subject to a 40p Rule 4 deduction. Some of you may or may not have got that. It SP'd at 8s. But I got a 40p Rule 4, and then Light Up a Stars 9-1. It drifted about in the day, and you could have got 14s at one point. So some of you may have got a better price, but 9s was the SP. 9s what we had on the channel, and then Doors Toy Boy. It was up front, looking like we might be able to get a quad place there, but it did indeed fade, and it was on the wrong side of the track. So. Nice enough return there. So I made it 20 on yesterday. I got 37.84 back. I know some of you got more than that because of you kind of chopped and changed in some of my bets. So generally, I'm delighted. It's not about a competition about who can make the most money from my bets. So if other people make more money from my bets, I am delighted. I've got no hard feelings about that at all because what I'm betting on the channel is not what I'm betting in all of my real life. So £20 for this channel, that is what you see. You don't see what else goes on, and my life is not revolving around just £20 on a Sky Bet account. Otherwise, bread and water would probably be the main meal of the day. So what have we got? We've got 4 bets today. We're going to go 3 lucky 15s. We've done it the last 2 days and it's worked well for us. I'm not doing that just because it worked well for us. It's the right way of doing the bets as far as I'm concerned. But I've also got an additional double on the best 2 Aintree races. So we have got an Aintree lucky 15 today, and we'll have one probably tomorrow as well. So what have we got? 145. I think this is the second best handicap in my view. Quinta Dumars, 25-1. I backed it at Cheltenham. It got bumped around a little bit, so I would strike a little bit of a line through its performance. If you go back before that, I think that horse is really decently handicapped. It was 4th in a handicap sort of turn of the year, and the next 3 have all since gone on and won at some point. So I do think that horse is well handicapped, and it's a decent price at 25s. And then we're into the Topham, the 405p, 8 on Sky Bet. Most bookies are 6. There's a couple of others that are 7. So if you've got 8, brilliant. But it's worth putting these bets on. It's a big field. The Topham is over the national fences. Anything can happen. So you might look and go, well, it's the best race of the day because there's extra places. There's so many variables in a race like that, same as there is in the Grand National. So I don't want to overly put too much of the stake on that one race just because it's the best race of the day, because horses get knocked about, you can get brought down easily. So anyway, we've gone with Pink Eye Pedro in the main bet. Reason being, it was second last year on £5 lower. It's been trained for this race as far as I would see. It did fall heavily last time over hurdle, so hopefully it's recovered from that. Form wise though, it looks well handicapped, and it's got experience over the fences, which is important. And it's a spring horse, and I think I've said this already before. This time of year, you've got to look for fresh horses sometimes on the flat. On the jumps, you often want to look for a spring horse, i.e. horses that have historically run well on spring grounds. And generally looking at late March, April, May, June-ish, and Pink Eye Pedro fits that bill. So I think it's worth a go in the bet, but it's a really, really open race, so I wouldn't be lumping lots of money on it. Then we've got Green Book in the 440, Sky Bet 5. I think most bookies are probably 4 on that. I think it's a really solid horse because it ran well in the Albert Bartlett, and it's turned up here, this is the Aintree equivalent. There's no reason for me why it wouldn't run a decent enough race. I'm not sure necessarily it's the right one if you were wanting to have a winner, but I can see it being in the frame. So Green Book's in there. And then the 515, I struggled to try and find anything, being honest. There was a few things that were single figures that were obvious. And so I've taken a bit more of a punt. And just so when we're clear on this, because when I say I'm taking a punt, that's kind of me with my system saying on current form probably wouldn't make the frame, but there's back form to say it might. Whereas these, I would say on current form should be up there. Due Reward is much more of a punt. It's got back form, but it's very inconsistent. But I would take an inconsistent horse at 40s or 50s. I wouldn't take an inconsistent horse at 20s. So there's a health warning with that horse. So 20p each way, lucky 15, and it's a 25p each way double on those two, which are the best two in the bet for me. So 650, bet one. Bet two, and we've got a double. So the best two races. So I've taken some at a bit of a price. Someday Soon, it's got solid form on, I think it's a spring horse. Often these horses, they run in small races and they do all right on good ground, and they get a little bit overlooked when they come into a big field handicap. I think it's worth a go at 66ers definitely. And then Riders on the Storm, not gone over the national fences before. Again, decent back form in that one, so I'm giving that one a go. So we've got a 25p each way double and two 25p each way singles on those two. That's bet two. And then that is my end of my Aintrees. So if that's all you wanted to hear today, goodbye, enjoy your day, see you in the morning. For those of you that are committed to the cause and what I'm doing here, this is what you wanted. The Ballinrobe Lucky 15. Exactly. Why, Callum, do you keep putting out these Irish jumps when they get some funny results? I think it's worth a go, and I believe in the philosophy of what I'm doing about Splendor Stakes. So here's the Ballinrobe Lucky 15. Everybody wanted. Top horse. The only horse today, it's not in any extra places. It's a maiden race. Another Bonnie, 15 runners. Why am I putting an unraced horse in a 15 runner maiden in my bets today? It looks a bit dodge. It's not what I would normally do. The reason I'm putting it in, Another Bonnie is a full sister to Ferdia. Ferdia won first time out in a maiden hurdle in Ballinrobe at 33-1. Another Bonnie also is a half sister to another horse that it was second in a maiden in Ballinrobe at 33-1. The trainer is very shrewd, and they've got another of his horses down here, John Patrick Ryan. He's the third best trainer at Ballinrobe behind Elliott and Mullins. So I'm having a go here with another Bonnie, unraced, but sibling-wise, that should run a decent race in a maiden in Ballinrobe if you're going on that basis. So we're having it in because there's nothing special in that race horses-wise. So there's no reason why, if that's anything decent like its siblings, it shouldn't run a decent race. So we're going to go have a crack at another Bonnie. I've then got Wouldn't You Agree in the 535, Forget the Surprise 12-1, the 610, and then another John Patrick Ryan horse. He's got 4 today at Ballinrobe. I'm taking 2. 640 Ballinrobe, Kilcarry View 11-1. 20p each way, lucky 15. That's your Ballinrobe one. Apologies, this video has gone on way longer than I hoped. And then the last one is a mixed lucky 15, and I've deliberately crossed something out, and I'm going to come to that. 508 Sedgefield Classic Escape 7-1. I've got a Sedgefield horse when all that good stuff's going on at Aintree. It's not a great price, obviously, but I think it's worth its place. I've then got 2 at Dundalk. Regular viewers know I love Dundalk. There's not enough to do a Dundalk special, nor would I prioritise that. I'd rather do a Ballinrobe Lucky 15 than a Dundalk special. I've got 2 that we're going with, though. King's View in the 550, Scarlet Seymour in the 650, and then the last race, really interesting race, this Kempton race. And I've crossed out Nail Gunner. I was umming and ahhing, and I wanted to be open about my umming and ahhing here, and I'll take it on the chin if I've got it wrong. Nail Gunner is a really, really well handicapped horse, I think, in that race, and it's about 7-8-1. And I was between it, and in the end I was like, no, this is important stuff to understand. Lady Holly, 25s, 3 times the odds. Do I think Nail Gunner's got a 3 times better chance than Lady Holly of doing well? No, I don't. I think they are closer than the market would suggest. Lady Holly is handicap debut, and I think the last run it had over course and distance has been a little bit underestimated by the handicapper. So I think it's chucked in at a decent enough mark to run a decent enough race at 25s. And if I'm comparing that to Nail Gunner at 7 or 8-1, there's more value in Lady Holly. Nail Gunner goes and wins. Lady Holly gets beaten. I'll deal with it, guys. But this is the decisions that I make sometimes around the value, and I wanted to kind of talk that out loud so you understand. That's what we've got on that one. All right, word on the golf quickly before this turns into like War and Peace. This film. I'm making a film now. Losing it. Golf is decent start. So Dustin Johnson, Corey Connors, Webb Simpson, Kevin Na are all in the places after round one, and all 7 are in the top half of the Masters out of 90 participants. The only one flag is Paul Casey, who was in our lucky 15, withdrew before the start with a back issue. He wasn't a single bet I put up. I only put him in the lucky 15. So if you've done him in the lucky 15, it will count as a non-runner void bet. So it's like having a non-runner in a lucky 15. The other 7 have all done a decent enough first round. So I'm really happy. A good place to have 7 golfers and all in the top half. But that's only a quarter of it done. And if you think about horses, a quarter of your horse race done doesn't tell you who's going to win. Okay, I'm stopping it there. Enjoy your day. I'll see you in the morning. I've got to try and get a bet out tonight. I was going to say that, yeah. So I've had a few asks about that. I'm going to try and get one bet out. When I do the review tonight, I'll try and get a bet out early for those of you who want to put something early on. Okay, enjoy your day, and thank you if you stayed to the end. I'm very, very grateful for listening to me for 16 minutes, and I'm sorry for intruding too much on your day. Goodbye.